All right, I wanted to show you this really cool model over here. So this model here is a model of a human torso that has been cut into multiple transverse sections, right? So it's been cut along the transverse plane in many, many different areas. So we can see there's lots of really cool things that we can look at. This, if you look through here in this chest area, this one looks a lot like that model that we went over where we talked about the serous membranes in the ventral cavities. So if we keep going down, we're going to enter into the abdominal cavity. And so let me reposition a little bit. Bring him a little closer. All right, so now we can see a nice slice through the abdominal cavity. So I just wanted to mention some of the serous membranes in the abdominal cavity. So remember that the abdominopelvic cavity is lined with serous membranes called the peritoneum. And so around these organs here, so like this is the small intestine, and we've got the large intestine over here. So around all these organs, directly covering the organs is going to be the visceral peritoneum. It's not as easy to see on this model, but directly covering the organs is the visceral peritoneum, and then lining the body cavity right here is the parietal peritoneum. And then in between those two, you have the peritoneal cavity or the peritoneal space. And peritoneal fluid would be found in there. The other thing I want to mention is that within the abdominopelvic cavity, you actually have organs that are behind the peritoneum. So they're called retroperitoneal. And so here, the kidneys back here are a good example. They are sitting at the back of the body cavity. And so they are right up here against the muscles, and they've got a bunch of fat around them. And so the body cavity is actually going to be more like this. So the body cavity is here, whereas this part here is retroperitoneal because they're sitting so close to the back of the wall. So these kidneys are actually, you've got parietal peritoneum that comes all the way around here, and the parietal peritoneum is actually going to cover up those retroperitoneal organs like the kidneys. But in general, if I say, for the small intestines or the stomach or large intestine, any of these intestines that are free and kind of moving within the abdominopelvic cavity, those organs that are not retroperitoneal are covered in visceral peritoneum, and then the cavity is going to be lined by that parietal peritoneum. And then we can keep going and see a couple more slices down. So this is a really cool model that shows transverse sections through the human body.